Born on August 30th, 1972, Angel Bennet Wilson grew up in the Carroll City neighborhood in Miami Gardens, Florida. She grew up with an older sister and her mother. Angel was a well-known fixture in the Miami party scene with a pretty face, keen fashion sense, and slim figure. She was known as the Hood Naomi Campbell and was also known by the nicknames Sexy Black and Black Girl. She was a fly girl who dated local drug dealers and gang members, which ultimately led to her demise. One of her favorite haunts was a popular nightclub called Pac Jam, located at 8422nd Avenue in Miami. It closed in 1997 after the owner sold the club and is now occupied by the Grace Evangelical Baptist Church. Adi Cassius, a frequent Pac Jam attendee, described the experience. During the rockin' 80s and roaring 90s, Pac Jam was known in the area as the ultimate teen club. All the young adults and teens frequented the Pac Jam if their parents were cool enough to let them go or neglectful enough to not notice or care. Either way, it was the place to be on a Friday night. Upcoming and current rappers of our emerging Miami hip-hop era were usually the acts which would rock the crowd, introduce new dance numbers, break new records, etc. Boys and girls would hook up there. Teens would show up with their friends to meet up with their prospective or current boyfriends and or crushes. It was the ultimate dating scene. The place was always packed, hence the name Pac Jam. It was a jam-packed, musty-smelling, dimmed lighting, sticky flooring, loud bass booming, crowd pushing, no space to throw your elbows, hardly, or step back too quickly, place to jam. The DJ was sure to jam. And boy, if you were there, you were jamming. Nothing mattered. The energy, the sounds, the smell of the place was all wistful because you were just happy to be there. For that moment, you were grown, you were free. The boys wore their hairs in high-top fades or designed Caesar cuts. They'd save their Adidas tracksuits or bright colors of Carl Connie fashions or cross-colors outfits just to wear it at the Pac Jam. They'd rock their Jordan, Adidas, or Nike sneakers or Jodeci boots. Girls loved their hair weave ponytail extensions or their freshly new cuts of a frontal hair curl stacking, which was freeze-dried with spritz, with the bottom back shaved. With this cut, you'd need to wear your bamboo-shaped, golden hoop or square earrings, at least 2 pairs, nonetheless. Even if she had to change clothes in the car, she would rock a midriffs and high-waist ed, tight jeans, or a tight tube miniskirt. You had to represent. You had to look good. You had to smell good. Your stroll into the club was none too simple. You'd be bouncing in the line as the sound of the music from inside permeated your chests, entering your heart cavity to instruct that organ of its new rhythm. The heavy bass beat permeated your entire being. You and your friends were giddy and bouncing one knee before you could even enter. Once you're at the door, that familiar but welcoming stench of teenage boys sweating and dancing would hit you, and you continue and step into the club to find other friends or secure your spot where you'll park for the night. And you're vibbing, the music is hitting number after number, and you are taken by the sheer elevation of how it is compelling you to gyrate your hips, and all you want to do is level your booty bouncing skills of the doo-doo brown dance. The feeling of a young man's strong arm around your waist to assist you in your dance was all the more pleasurable. Hopefully, he spoke first. And if he didn't, a quick check by looking back is all it took to decide whether he was cute enough to stay. If he was not cute, you'd move quickly to signify the rejection. If all was good, the dance would be the introduction. The second dance, the conversation. The slow dance, the decision to go together. And by the end of Pac Jam that night, you'd have a new boyfriend. In 1992, Angel met Jerome Fulton, who also went by the nicknames G-Money and G-Man. They met while at the nightclub when Jerome spotted Angel across the room and asked the DJ to play Slow Dance by R. Kelly. From that night on, Angel and Jerome were inseparable. Angel soon fell pregnant, and the young couple was excited to welcome the new life into the world. But just months before the birth of their son, tragedy struck when on April 10, 1993, Jerome was gunned down, never having the chance to meet his son. Angel gave birth to their son, Jerome Fulton Jr.B., a few months later. She was a doting mother who loved lavishing her son with love and attention. A young mother, she was also fun and spontaneous. Her son fondly recalls a memory of her driving down the highway while using her knees to steer the car. She would wave her hands out the sunroof to dry her nails. On August 30th, 1998, Angel celebrated her 26th birthday. Sadly, it would be the last birthday she would celebrate. Angel began dating a local drug dealer and gang member, Anthony DeJuan Fail, also known as Bo and Little Bo. Their relationship wasn't perfect, as Angel's mother stated Anthony had threatened to kill Angel if she saw another man. On the evening of December 1st, 1998, Angel and Anthony went for a drive that would be Angel's last. There was a continuing feud between a local gang member named Corey Smith and Angel's boyfriend, Anthony. On the night of Angel's death, Corey had arranged for members of the John Doe gang to target Anthony. Corey was bad news. Only a year before, he was responsible for the death of a witness to one of his many violent crimes. On July 24, 1997, Cynthia Brown was found smothered to death in a motel room. Corey had arranged her murder just days before she was set to testify against him in a murder trial. Cynthia was the sole witness against Corey in the 1996 murder of Dominique Johnson, a 19-year-old rival drug dealer. While several people witnessed Dominique's murder, Cynthia was the only individual who came forward to identify Corey to the police. Corey was scheduled to be tried for Dominique's murder on July 28, 1997. However, the prosecution was forced to dismiss the charges against Corey when Cynthia, the only witness, was found murdered less than a week before the trial was to take place. Several witnesses testified that Corey wanted to eliminate the witness who was going to testify against him in the Dominique Johnson murder case. Anthony, Angel's boyfriend, testified that Corey had offered him $50,000 to kill Cynthia, although he did not accept the offer. Anthony also testified that Corey had put aside $20,000 to pay Cynthia's boyfriend, Chazer Davis, for murdering Cynthia. Carlos Walker testified that he heard Corey instructing Chazer to strangle or suffocate Cynthia so as to not leave evidence at the scene. Cynthia died from asphyxia as a result of being smothered with a pillow in the motel room she was sharing with Chazer. The couple checked into the motel on the evening of July 23, 1997, and her body was found the following morning. Cynthia had petechial hemorrhages in her eyes, inside her upper lip, and on her epiglottis. Her lungs were full of fluid due to pulmonary edema. She had also sustained post-mortem cuts on the side of her neck. All of these injuries were consistent with asphyxia as the cause of death. On the night of December 1st, 1998, Angel drove Anthony in her car to visit the home of Anthony's stepbrother, James. When they arrived, James warned Anthony that he had seen a car occupied by John Doe gang members circling the block. Fearing for Angel's life, Anthony persuaded her to leave the house and to drive home. Soon thereafter, Angel was shot multiple times with a semi-automatic assault rifle while she was driving her car. Angel died of multiple gunshot wounds to her entire body. She was struck 16 times by bullets entering the driver's side of her vehicle. 6 of the bullet wounds were fatal. The medical examiner testified that Angel's lungs were riddled with pieces of metal fragments ripped from the door by the passing bullets. The bullet wounds caused extensive tissue damage, including severing her left breast and part of her ankle. She died in the vehicle from internal injuries. Julius Stevens and Eric Stokes were charged in the murder of Angel Wilson. Julius Stevens was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to 25 years in prison. Eric Stokes was convicted of second-degree murder and served a 15-year sentence. Chazer Davis was indicted for the first-degree murder of Cynthia Brown, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and racketeering on December 19, 2000. On March 30, 1999, Corey Smith was sentenced to life in prison by a federal judge. After Angel's murder, Anthony went on a crime spree to avenge her death. He was on the Miami's most wanted list for 8 days before his capture at a local hotel. During his confession, he stated that Angel's death took his insides. After Angel's death, her son was cared for by her older sister. He went on to graduate from Harvard Business School and started a foundation in his mother's name, the Angel B. Wilson Foundation, which was created to provide scholarships to students who have lost loved ones to gun violence.